welcome to Play With It with Cass Allen. This week we're talking about personalities that we encountered during the dating pool. Uh, Today we're talking about micromanagers. And by micromanagers, we mean people who hawk everything. They sit, they watch, they correct, they believe their way is the optimal way to do things. They correct your language, your processes, everything, pretty much. I'm the manager. I'm watching everything. It's like a school monitor, amplified, you know? Um, that's the bottom line. There are people you date that want to micromanage everything. They want to manage the date, everything involved. Um, Dating one, you have to take these things into account. There may be very few times that you get to make decisions. So say that you may get to make decisions. If they're correct, everything will go well. But if this micromanager deems he or she has superior qualities from you when it comes to logical processing, perhaps, or any types of thinking abilities, be prepared. Be prepared to be corrected. Be prepared for this person to say, "Oh, I think it would be better to do it this way." Or, "Do you mind if I do this? Oh, if we just move this a little to the left. Well, how about we try this instead? Well, actually, someone told me this. Well, I think it would be best this way." It's a constant. We all have ideas. We all at times make the best decision out of the group, but sometimes is the key word, allow the rotation, allow all people to express themselves. I like to talk about that quite often, unless you're one of those, what is it we call them? The people that says it's all about me, if you're trying to have equality in your relationship, make room for someone else to make the decisions at times. If you're dating one of these people, maybe you are one of those people who's passive aggressive and you don't mind laying in the cut. So this might work for you. Or again, you might be one of those me too's. So you're okay with somebody else micromanaging everything. And you just go, "Oh, me too." But normally a micromanager has a corrective quality. Sound good to you? Because it sounds good to me. So back to what we were talking about. So back to what we were talking about. We were talking about dating people who micromanage, and what are you willing to put up with, depending on the type of personality that you have. A person that's all about me and a micromanager, it's kind of oil and vinegar, fire and fire. It doesn't quite work. A passive aggressive might work, like I said, if they don't mind being in the cut and letting that person take the lead most of the time. That micromanager and that aggressor might have some conflicts though when those two mix. But otherwise, like I said, if you want to deal with a micromanager, prepared for somebody to show you the way, pretty much. Nitpick it all. Some people like that. Some people don't like making decisions, so they like somebody who is excessive with their shit, so they can do all the work. Some people do that on purpose. They take advantage of a micromanager and and let them manager manage every damn thing while they just sip martinis and watch them run around, seeking that idealism that they equate to utopia. So, hey, like I said, it depends on your personality. If you are the micromanager, though, be prepared for people to do things behind your back, because if you're always the one that's always, always fixing everything, people can't be themselves around you without you making recommendations 24/7 or offering ideas of how things could be better and how your ideas are the best ideas and why won't you take my ideas and me to some extent. There's some meism going on there. Allow room for other people to exist and exercise their brains, whether they're right or wrong. In the relationship, even, somebody's trying to make plans for a date and you behind them correcting every fucking thing they're doing, but there's nothing wrong with the date they're planning. You just trying to plan a different date. Or the people that like to say all the time, if it was me, if it was me, if it was me, if it was me, nobody gives a fuck because it's not you doing it. It's me doing it. The different me, the second me, the other me. Like quit with that fucking line. If it was me, so the fuck what? It's not you. And why are you? Y'all out there, y'all out there, make some room for the rest of people. That's the nicest way to sum it up. If you're dating a person that likes to manage people excessively and things and situations, you have to decide again, like I spoke of with the other areas, whether or not you want to deal with this on a short term or long term basis. Short term, you might not want somebody micromanaging. Depends on what they're micromanaging. Maybe you're into something kinky. Maybe you like being beat, corrected, and involving yourself in this stuff sexually. Maybe you want to take advantage of somebody's willpower to want to run around doing everything while you sit back in the cut. One never knows. Maybe you want to go on a vacation and there's some micromanager over, take it all over, plan it all, do it all. Just give me a ticket. It might work for you depending on your personality. Like I said, compatibility is what it's about. And what's the situation? Can you handle that short term? Can you handle somebody doing everything or managing everything overly and nitpicking and excessively meticulous, if you will? Hey, go for it. Maybe some of you can manage this long term. You decided that you just want to chill and have somebody else take control. You can decide every goddamn detail of everything. Just go ahead. Just go ahead. I'm here for you. I'm a me too. Perhaps that's the case. Like I said, are you passive aggressive? And that aggressive side of you doesn't raise up often because this person doesn't trigger you like that. That's a possibility too. Like I said, before you get into these relationships, think about what category do I fit in? Who am I in this situation? Am I the me too? Am I the passive aggressive? Am I the person who's all about me? Am I a micromanager? Am I something else? Am I overly aggressive? Am I to myself? Am I just passive or am I just aggressive? Who am I? Do I disagree with everything people say because I like conflict? Like, find out who you are and what type of personalities might want to accept you because they don't all mix no more than you mix all foods and they work. Some taste nasty, some kill you, some explode in your stomach. All kinds of shit happens. The same happens with personalities when you mix them. Some of them don't fucking mix. They end up fighting, they're boiling, some fit perfect. The right ingredients for each other make a great recipe as a couple. All kinds of shit goes down, you know. So you got to think about, long term. Where do you fit in here with your details, your excessive details, your micromanaging? You know, you got to accept how people are going to treat you. Hey, I don't like you because you don't allow me an opportunity to think for myself because you want to correct everything. So this is our last date. You got to be able to go, you know what? All right, I see you're not into me telling you what to do. It's not for you. You don't want me to correct you, pick the lid off your suit on the first date and correct your English and count for you. You don't want it. Okay. You got to be able to accept, like I said, how people treat you. And you can also come to the date that way. Look, Nice to meet you, blah, blah, blah. Were you having dinner? Tell me a little bit about yourself. I like to micromanage things, you know. Yeah, I like to, if I see things that don't make sense to me, I like to intervene and offer recommendations, regardless of the situation, location. I'm here to help you. I see that as part of my thing. Like while we having dinner tonight, if I see you use one utensil wrong, I'm gonna help you get this right. You know there's an etiquette involved with those spoons, knives, and forks, right? You know one's for soup, salad. You know the routine: tea, coffee, stir, eat. I'm gonna find out, I suppose. I hope you're not offended, because that's my personality. You know, I micromanage shit. So if you all right with that, we can have a date too. It's up to you. Y'all know how it is, you know. To wrap this up, be honest. We come back to this all the time. Just tell people who you are. Why you want to go through all that? And people talk about you, and that motherfucker was a baby. That was some micromanaging shit I just went through. Tell them from the beginning. They can respect you. They can say, you know what, I ain't gonna fuck with that because I know what you're gonna do to me. So it's now I ain't gotta talk about you. I'm not out there talking shit to my friends. Yeah, I went on this date with this. I'm not doing any of that because you came out. You told me what it is, and we shut that shit down. We shut that shit down before we even go on that date. We on the phone talking about this. We having so much fun in our real world being honest and shit. He like, nah, I don't think we should do this. We end up becoming homies. I'm gonna be like, yeah, I met this blah blah blah. Yeah, they cool. We just decided not to go out, but I like the person. Look at that. Look at this. Listen how that sound compared to that other conversation. Yeah, I went out with this. I've been in situations like that where people have shared stories with me of their dates, and I always think there's got to be somebody out there telling the story about my ass that's not so pleasant, because that's life. We all do it. But I'd be like, sometimes, like, damn, I hope it's not that bad for me. Because the things they be saying, like I've said before, versus what they tell the date be so different. People can be so polite, which is nice too, you know, but they never quite tell you what's up, you know. Tell them what's up, y'all. Tell them the truth. This is who I am. This is what I do. It's not a flaw, it's my identity. You know, what's true for you is just enough for somebody else. So, you know, play it up so you can find your people. Like I say all the time, don't be shy about who you are. Play that shit up. There's somebody out there going, damn, I like the way you get down with that micromanaging because I don't feel like managing shit. And they're going to find you. There's somebody out there going, damn, this motherfucker do everything. If I just be wrong a few times, they don't let me do shit. It might be for you. This has been Play With It with Cass Allen. Have a good day and have a good night.